followers or because I want, people to like my pictures or my videos. I put my everyday stuff. I put my family out there. I put stuff that I love, and I think that people see that and they kind of appreciate that. So to each his own. I mean, I'm not talking down to anybody that puts butt shot up on their Instagram page.
I'm gonna put a butt shot up, and that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mike O'Hearn Show right here on Generation Iron. It is Friday. It is a big shout out to everybody there around the world that get to see this. I have again sitting down with me a dear friend, Big John. Here is the CEO of Titan Medical. Again, Titan Medical is an HRT TRT company that helps people around the United States optimize their health to the fullest potential.
That's
Thanks,
right.
Johnny, for being here.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it as always.
Yeah, we need more people like you in our lives. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody comes along that could improve your lifestyle and your health, that person got to stay. You can't go. I'm going to chase your ass down the road. There's no way. You have to stay. Yeah. Anybody that adds to the quality of my life, you are in.
That's right.
That's all I got to say.
You stole my line earlier, quality over quantity. That goes for everything that you do.
Yeah.
I love that. Look
And
at you two.
I just hope, I told you, John and I have a lot in common. I just hope that more people that are going to listen to what we have to say today. Oh, hi. It's just they're going to apply it to their lifestyle because I know that you guys been talking on Tuesdays about all these different things that you could add to your health. No matter where you are in life, you could be young, old, women, men, whatever. We're here to help. But today, I want to bring up the women, raise this life up a little bit more, the podcast up, and talk about the women out there. I got a lot of DMs. And, I've sent some your way, John, some of the girls that reached out to me, and I have a few more to send to you guys. But um, they have questions because they don't know where to start, what to do. I got someone that's waiting for me to get back to her. She said, I'm doing your friend. I'm doing my blood work. What should I look for? And so they just don't know. So I get a lot of DMs, and I'm not going to lie to you. Some of this stuff, I don't know the answers to. I wish I did. And that's why we're here today. So you could lecture not only me, but also the women out there. And guys, you could apply this and bring this to your wives and girlfriends because it's going to be very, 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 I guess, it's going to add.
Don't feel bad not knowing because that's why I got John here because I don't know this stuff either.
You could actually really accentuate what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and here we are. So girls, get ready. We're getting on this horse today. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so we do have questions, right?
I do want to start off that I've been in the industry a while and I've seen a lot of girls hurt themselves by being deep into the health and fitness world. A lot of those old coaches would just put them on 2 hours of cardio, get rid of the carbs, fats, and load them up on secondary stuff. What is, I guess give us just a protocol for what they could do to baby step this and check their health as these girls are out there. Because I know that it seems as though it's a very big talk. HRT, TRT is a talk with guys, but women don't realize that their hormones are the same in the sense of they can get messed up.
Yes. So, for women, let's just start with women and men both have the exact same hormones in their body. So there's no differentiator. We both have testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, and such. The difference is the amount and value that we have. That's the differentiator, right? When we talk about hormones, there's more masculine hormones, there's feminine hormones. So when we talk about masculine hormones, we talk about testosterone. So females, yes, you're going to have testosterone, but at a lower level because we don't want you to have masculine traits, right? And that happens to a lot of girls in the fitness industry because they get put on a program and a protocol that changes these things and takes away the femininity from them. But after that, then, we talk about the way that you're feeling, like energy and sluggishness and, body fat putting on and how to correct this stuff. But I think blood work is number one key for anybody, just to make sure that everything's going on inside. And at that point, checking the blood work, making sure that you're getting the right tests. Because that's the other thing. I see a lot of places out there that say, oh, yeah, we have full in-depth blood panels. And I look at the blood panels to see what labs are on there, and it's really basic stuff. It's not a really in-depth blood panel, which would cover all the bases per se to start somebody on hormone replacement therapy. But, females, when you go down that path and you start doing some of these different things, that can lead you down a path that you're going to stay down the rest of your life, because some of the different things that can happen if you're on wrong doses per se of testosterone. So I see it all the time. I see it on a regular woman that goes to a general practitioner, or they go to an HRT clinic that does pellets, right? And Titan Medical Center will never do pellets. And I'm going to tell you guys why and what we see come from pellets. So pellets.
Yeah, can you tell us what a pellet is?
Sure. So a pellet is just exactly what it means. It's a little pellet about that big. Okay. It's like a little bar almost. Mm-hmm. And those pellets have different dosages of medication. So they load you up with these pellets for a 3-month run. Okay. So you're getting loaded up. Let's say you're low on testosterone. You're getting testosterone in there. You're getting estrogen in there. If you're a female, possibly progesterone in there. So there's different things that they could put in these pellets, but those major hormones. And then what they do is they cut a little slice, usually in the buttocks, and they insert these pellets in you. It's kind of like cattle. They used to do it back in Flex back in the day.
We're not talking about that.
So they insert these pellets. They stitch it up or whatever. It's like one stitch or whatever. It's real simple, real easy to do. So it's good to go, right? So everybody in theory thinks, oh, awesome. I've got these pellets inserted. I only had to go to my doctor one time. I have to do injections. I have to do creams. This is going to run its course. That's awesome. So what happens is everybody's body is different to a certain degree. And the absorbency of how those pellets are going to absorb can absorb differently in different people. But majority of people, this is what happens. Their hormones spike up. I mean, fast, like a roller coaster, right? And then what happens is over time, over those 3 months, it just keeps going down, going down, going down. So as you're going through those 3 months, you're feeling worse as you're getting to the end, because your hormones are going to be deficient again. But at the beginning, what happens is they're spiked up so high. So I've seen females come back with a total of 900 in their testosterone ranges. And these are not competitors, not fit. These are, at-home wives that just wanted to lose some weight and get.
So they didn't mean to do this, though. They didn't mean to get to that level of a 900.
No, they didn't want that. They're trusting the doctor with blind faith. Me and Shreese talk about it all the time. Before I went to Titan Medical Center, before I got to look behind the curtain and see what, who was running Oz, at that point, I had blind faith. I go to my general practitioner. I say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. He looks it over. He diagnoses. He puts me on the protocol. I follow it to a T because that's his job and that's who I trust. That's how we've been taught all our lives. You trust these people and they're going to do what they're supposed to do, AKA teachers, doctors, lawyers. And come on, there's bad ones, there's good ones in anything that we do.
We're learning all this being a first-time father. So I understand the metaphor. Truly do I understand it.
For sure. So, so that's the problem. And then if their levels stay at that level, they start getting these negative side effects, deepening of the voice, right? No girl wants to sound like this. They just don't. The next thing, hair. They don't want hair growing in places that usually don't grow or getting thicker in those places, aka the mustache, the beards. I mean, I've seen it all, on their body in different places. They don't want to start getting hair on their chest. I've seen that happen, So the other one is clitoral enlargement. So that's another one that, basically, I don't know if anybody's seen it. I don't want to be too graphic about this, but, it's like a baby pee-pee. So at that point, it sticks out. And this is something that,
I'm gonna
males don't want to deal with. Like,
I'm gonna laugh about this one because when I was competing back in the day, I've heard people calling it baby carrots.
It's what it looks like. I mean, literally Google it after this.
You might have to edit this part out, you two.
Industry, yes.
I'm sorry.
What is
it's
that?
true. Like these are real life things. It's not even being funny or being it's something that somebody have to deal with. And if they have a boyfriend, a husband, and they don't like this stuff, and they see this is going to be a turnoff for them, and this is going to wreck the relationship.
For a second. So I know we talked about the pellets, and it gives you a big boost at the beginning, and it kind of dies down over time.
Yeah.
So the preventative to this would to be able to be more frequent, maybe do the shots instead of doing the pellets. And because the side effects, obviously, in anything you do, any kind of medication, you don't want the side effects. And this sounds like when it comes to the girls, the hair, I'm assuming they don't want body hair. The baby carrot. I don't think they don't want it, or their boyfriends want it. Yeah. Hey, whatever floats your boat. But I mean,
the deeper the voice, they sound deeper than us.
Yeah. Can these things be fixed, or is it try to get in there? I mean, obviously try to get in there and not have this from the start, but what is the protocol? And when these things do happen, I
think they have to have done surgery on clitoral enlargement. Deepening the voice, I don't know how you're going to come back from that. Once you do it, it is. I mean, the hair thing, I mean, maybe if you slow down the testosterone, the levels start lowering down, it might not grow as thick or as fast. But the other, I mean, yeah, you're going to be stuck with some of these different things. That's what I'm saying. It's something that you're not going to be able to come back from. So there is no
go in with blind faith to just any company and go, hey, this is what I got to do. Go in there and really talk to them. When you guys work with women, and I imagine again all ages, and I know that Mona's in her late 40s, spring chicken here, but those numbers are continuing to change. What is her protocol with you guys time wise to get in there and see you if she starts medication?
Yeah, so protocol wise, if
she sees you guys, hey, here's the protocol here. Come back in 6 years.
Gotcha. Okay, so what would happen is obviously if she did the blood test and we seen, let's say, low testosterone, low estrogen, low progesterone. So what would happen is we would put a treatment program together that would be personalized for her. So different dosages for different people, depending on where the number's at, what the symptoms are. That's first thing. It's not just a number basis. We're not just going to look at a sheet and be like, oh, your number's here. That's what you're going to get. No, we're going to listen to you and see what are the complaints, because those complaints can correlate with the number, or they might not correlate, and we might need to look at some different things. So at that point, you're going to go on a program. Now, through Titan Medical Center, we have all different types of options for transportation rate of these different medications. So one would be sublingual. So they put it underneath their tongue, it sublingually goes inside their body. At that point, they're getting probably about 70%, I would say, of the medications. They're getting that effect, and they would have to do that treatment daily. Okay. There's creams too. There's creams and gels we have. Some females like to do that, and they rub it on the certain places in their body where they have the less hair, and that works for them every day. If that doesn't work, either one of those, then we do have injectable testosterone for females, and it's not the same dose a male would get, not even close. We're talking about maybe 2.5 milligrams to possibly 5 milligrams tops per week. And we need to look at some different things because of that. Because even on the pellet side, the thing about it is once those are inserted in your body, there's no getting off of that train or ride. You're on it till it ends, right? Till they absorb it and through. But with the other transportation rates, sublingual, cream, injection, you can change that dosage and frequency right away. Hey, listen, we just got this test back. All right, you're going to dial it back to this, and we're going to start it this week. And now you start, and you're good to go. For that, like let's say a testosterone, they insert testosterone pellets in a guy, and his estrogen's through the roof. Well, now they're going to have to give him the anastrozole or the aromatase inhibitor anyway if they're on pellets. But at this point, you're already doing it this way. So I mean, that's what I would do, and that's kind of why we don't do pellets here, because it's easy to do pellets. It's a big money thing. You one time in, boom, you get a couple of G's, and they're out the door. We'll see you in 3 months, and you just keep rocking and rolling like that. It's a lot harder to dial somebody in like this, I would say, or at least take care of them the right way. To do it with, like I said, creams, gels, sublingual, or injections. I mean, those are different. For guys, there's going to be an oral form too. There's undecanate testosterone that just got FDA approved. So at that point, you're talking about an oral, or it's not going to go oral because that would be toxic to the liver. It's going to go sublingual too as well. So at that point, there's a lot of benefits for that for guys that don't want to do injections. Or people that cannot keep refrigerated items. Now, testosterone does not need to be refrigerated, but I've got some armed forces guys and stuff like that where they have to go out in the field and they can't be and doing their injections out there. That's where they bring in some of the brokies and they're rocking and rolling out in the field.
Oh, that's great information. I know that you, just jumping back for a second, I know that you said that the blood numbers usually match the person's energy in a sense. It's like your numbers are low and stuff. And I'm always curious about that stuff. Because I feel that sometimes you see numbers and then now, oh, my numbers are low, so I must be not that strong. I must not be that much energetic, because that's what goes along with it. But I see some people like Mona, who is nonstop go, but her numbers don't confirm that.
Right.
So again, is sometimes who does that reading of the numbers, and do they do the reading of the numbers identifies everybody, or does the individual represent the numbers? Does that make sense? It's like you never want to do an X-ray of a person. You do the person and see what the X-ray is, in a sense. And I've heard that a lot through back injuries. For some, I mean, one of the back injuries is one of those biggest things in sports. And a lot of doctors come back and go, you can handle this. You don't need to get your back fused together, for a lot of people. And it's cool to hear doctors say, I know what the X-ray says, but this is what I want you to do. I don't want you to do this. I want you to do therapy and so on. Is that kind of the same protocol when it comes to blood work?
I mean, so for Mona, I mean, it would be a thing. So I would not, the numbers don't always tell a story. And that's what I was saying. They don't always correlate with the symptoms. So if somebody has a 416 and they go to their general practitioner and they say, I have low energy, you know, I can't sleep, my sex drive sucks. But they're like, you know what? We just blood tested you and you have a 416 total. Now, the bottom of the scale in normal range is 364. You're normal. You're okay. And you'll just have to suck it up and go along. That's aging. You're getting older. Right now, going back to the beginning where you said Mona's numbers doesn't correlate with, you know, her energy because she's up and going all the way. Right. So, you know, for me, when I started testosterone treatment 12 years ago, that's when I started. And at that point, what happened was I was working, and I didn't have my own company. I was working for a huge advertising marketing agency, and I was on the road all day long, at least 8 hours. And I would drive probably about 2.5 hours a day, at least, on the bare minimum, just to go to clients, not driving out there wherever I had to go. But this is before I had Titan. I did, you know, have testosterone beforehand, so my numbers weren't good at all. I mean, and this is like maybe like 6 months afterwards. I went in and got a blood test, and I was at 98 on my total testosterone. The general practitioner was like, oh my God, you're so low right now. He goes and gets me 2 mLs and injects me right there on the spot. And this is a guy that does not believe in testosterone replacement therapy. It was just really funny. But before that, I did what I had to do. There's certain people that are wired and they're driven, and it doesn't stop. Yeah. I don't care if you're injured. I don't care if you have low testosterone. I've seen it a million times over and over. I've lived it myself. Now, obviously, the thing about it is this. We get a lot of people in here that say, oh, I don't have low testosterone. I'll get it checked anyway. And they come back on the lower end or low. And like, well, I don't feel like I had low testosterone. And we're like, listen, you bought a brand new Cadillac in 2000. You upkeep it. It looks awesome. You drive it. Things are cream puff. You go sit in a 2023. You tell me the difference.
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's night and day. Once you get optimal, you're going to feel optimal. You may still be walking and rolling, but
it's great because I know both of you, and I know that you guys are workers, and I know that it doesn't matter how you feel, you're going to be working your butt off. And so for anybody out there, it's a great point to what he's making is if you feel good or whatever it is, and you assume that the tiredness that you have is just life and how you're supposed to feel as you age. But it's a great point that he gives you there is that if you do get your blood work done, it will kind of establish, no, you're right, you're fine. Yeah. Or there is some things there that we can fix and get better and optimal. Because again, it's a cool thing that nowadays in 2023, here we are being able to talk to somebody that is helping people optimize their body in a healthy way. compared to the 80s and 90s that I grew up in,
Right.
where they were just, you were talking to the guys in the locker room on, hey, so what's the thing? What do you take? What do you go on? And it's like, wow, what a change of the world. Because we don't want these girls running around with baby carrots and deep voices, or the guys passing away so young.
It's just because some of the girls, some of the women are so naive, they just don't think. And they talk to other people and they take their advice. And that happened with somebody that I know. And it didn't turn out well. However, if you guys and girls are listening to John today, you make sure that you talk to somebody that actually knows what you have to do and what should you be your first step. And we always say the blood work. And once, because I've done blood work with the Titan Medical, and I love the whole process. I loved sitting down, having a FaceTime when one of the professional medical people from your office, and the first thing that they ask me is like, hey, so how is your diet? We talked about training. We talked about the everyday nutrition, training, life, sleep, hydration, before we even got to talk about anything else. So that is really important, because what makes it look to me is that you guys care about the person's health first. And if I would have came to you guys and I would have been all broken up and sick and all this stuff, and I just want to get on shit like this person that I know didn't want to work out, didn't want to diet, wanted to be shredded, and just went to a different country, got one of those pallets, that stays for a year, came back, and within 3 months, hair started growing. It's a girl I'm talking about, everything, like she was breaking up in like, pimples. And now she had to go all the way back to her country and pull it out. Like it was just a mess. So if you don't know what you're doing and you're just trying to get this, I don't know,
quick fix
or whatever it is.
Quick fix, that's a good one, Mike.
You will hit a wall and you're going to hit it hard. So first of all, I like the idea talking about the nutritional stuff, talking about the training, talking about, what your daily routine is and what is your goal. Are you a competitor? Are you somebody that's overweight? I've sent one of my good friends to you guys, and she's overweight, and she's done the blood work just to check her levels. Is it, is she like gonna pre-diabetic? Is she like all the health stuff first, and then go into like, what is the next step? So if everything is done correctly, it will be successful at the end. And what you have to have is patience and and trust the people and really look up Titan Medical, like investigate to see who you are working with and ask other people that actually work with you guys to see what you guys are all about. Because I've only heard good things. And that's why we're here today, So my advice is definitely, look it up, get your blood work done, and get to talk to somebody that actually knows exactly what to tell you what to do. I'm still up in the air. I'm still learning a lot of stuff, and I'm working with some of the one issue that I have that is my thyroid. So we're working on that. But I fixed most of my stuff that I've had with just vitamins that you get over the counter. I just didn't know what to take. I wasn't taking any vitamins. I'm like, I'm good. I'll get my coffee. I have energy. I'm not sick, And then all of a sudden, it doesn't matter how some people are like that. I am really bad. And I'm not going to lie to you guys straight on. I never took vitamins before until this year. And I'm really bad when it comes to taking care of my skin, like getting lotions at night. I wish I was like Mike. with the lotion on his face, masks. He's all green, tight, and he's like, "What's going on?"
I got the cucumbers on the eyes. Mona's walking in going,
"Yes." It's like, I had
she's
a different
doing the roof and all that stuff, and I'm on the couch.
Lifestyle. I had a different, and it's talking to my sister. every day and talking about how things are done here and how we grew up in Romania. It's like, don't you see that we never really sick? Don't you see? And we grew up in dirt. I mean, we grew up, it was so bad. Outdoor bathroom, we didn't have a plumbing. We didn't have showers. We didn't have electricity. I mean, it was so bad.
Oh,
And she said, remember that we used to go, because we are talking about Titan off the subject, that I'm having, oh, it's his potty training. We are
oh,
having such a good time, potty training him. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. She goes, come on, think about us. Who potty trained us? She goes, um, don't let him go to the bathroom with his phone because it's not good for him. He has to be in and out like us. She goes, remember, we used to be scared to go outside to the bathroom. What for?
yeah.
She was like, we were so scared, in and out of the bathroom. It was funny, but yeah. So it's the lifestyle that we grew up, and I don't get sick. And Mike is like, oh, you never get sick. I don't, but that doesn't mean that I'm 100% what I should be, because when I did my blood work, now I see some stuff that I have to work on. So that is my foot that I'm trying to get out there. So it doesn't matter if you feel healthy and you're running around all day and you're a marathon runner and you're, a great lifter and the gym is great and diet, check the blood work. Make sure, and, especially when you are here and you don't think there's anything wrong, but when it hits you, it's like, you're going to hit that ground. So
Yeah.
before that happens, check the blood work and then take it from there.
Big Johnny, one of the things that she was mentioning earlier is that we have sent over some people to Titan Medical, but these are not fitness people per se.
Right.
These are just, and again, I'm really trying to focus today on females. These are just middle-aged women that are trying to get a healthier lifestyle. And you guys have done some incredible stuff with them, because I know they had diabetes problems and thyroid problems and stuff. Can you talk about how you guys work with people like that when you do blood work? You're not just doing basic testosterone.
Sure. So, obviously the blood work, it goes pretty in full in depth, just a regular in-depth testing, but free and total testosterone, estrogen ranges, progesterone, growth hormone ranges, B12 ranges, liver, kidneys, cholesterol panel, full thyroid panel, T3, T4, TSH. But we can run a hemoglobin A1C, which is a 3-month average of your sugars, your glucose levels. And this will tell you if you're pre-diabetic, diabetic, and where you stand. It doesn't matter if you fast or not with this test. Also, in the panel, there will be a glucose, and that would be a fasting one. So if you fast, it'll tell you what your sugar level is right at that point. So that's usually high, and you say, listen, I fasted. Usually once you run a hemoglobin A1C to see what the 3-month average is. Because a lot of people don't know, and diabetes is an epidemic. It's ravaging through the world.
Everybody.
It really is. And at that
Especially
point,
when you get to a certain age, it seems like everybody just kind of flips over.
yeah,
It's
man.
just
So
crap that we eat in this country.
yeah.
But keep going, please.
No, you're right too. It is a lot of the food sources and what we have. If you look around, you go outside in public, you look around for good food. If you're, and all you see is fast food restaurants and all this garbage around you. So there's not good food sources. And that is definitely a big thing the U.S. has a flaw in compared to any of the other countries. In other countries like England or even Mexico, where they don't have high fructose corn syrup, it's a lot healthier in the foods they have. But going back to the diabetic portion. So a lot of people don't know that they are pre-diabetic. They have no idea, and nobody runs a hemoglobin A1C on them. General practitioners usually don't do it unless there's a glucose level, and they've done it a couple of times, but they really overlook it, even for my dad. Like at Titan Medical Center, I had to diagnose him having diabetes. This is horrible, right? Because he had the symptoms of diabetic. And that could be, you're itching on your foot, you start getting tingling after you eat sugary items. There's a lot of different things that happen. But when you hit diabetes, and you hit diabetes type 2, a lot of negative things can impact your health too, as well as far as the kidneys. If you let diabetes go unchecked for too long, you start losing limbs, eyeballs, and eventually die. That it can kill you 100%. So it's really important to look at these sugar levels because, one, your body's not going to be functioning properly. Obviously, your pancreas, your insulin, all this is going to be messed up. This can cause insulin resistance as well, which can cause you to get fat, stay fat, and not get off that horse. But being diabetic is going to cause you other issues, so you want to make sure that's checked. even longevity. So cellular deterioration happens when you have higher glucose levels inside the body. If you keep your glucose levels lower, it'd be a lower level of cellular deterioration inside the body. You live longer. They've done these studies, and they're running like metformin, and even now at that point, semaglutide and all these different things for anti-aging properties, because they know that cellular deterioration slows down. The general population, which they did the metformin test on, the study, they all lived longer than the people did not use the metformin. So we know that, right? The other thing about it is that there's such great medications out there right now that you can use. Now, metformin is a medication that's been around for like 60 years and been used. It's generic, it's out there. The bad thing about metformin is if you truly are diabetic, they usually have you taking 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of metformin a day. So they're little circles, and they're usually 500 milligrams per circle, and you're taking these things. At that point, that can cause kidney damage if you're taking too much metformin. It also dehydrates you, and dehydration can damage your kidneys too as well. But semaglutide, tirzepatide. So you know these by common commercial names like Ozempic, Mounjaro. So these things are out there right now. And these things have been game changers. One, controlling hemoglobin A1C, controlling glucose levels. It's the best, right? You're not going to cause any kidney problems because it's an injection. It's only one injection per week, so it's very easy to comply and use. The other thing with it, though, it will reverse insulin resistance while helping that function with the pancreas and insulin. And then the other issue that it will do is it's going to cause you not to be hungry. So you're going to be able to pick better food sources. And at that point, a lot of people that have diabetes are overweight. I've only seen a number of, like I've seen a couple of bodybuilders. Like I know this guy, Brett Swanson, he's a type 1 diabetic, and he's a bodybuilder, which is, that's kind of risky. I would put it to a risky category, but he's doing his thing. But there's different people out there, but usually type 2 diabetics are usually overweight. And the more overweight you are and the more fat that you have in your body, the higher risk you are for cardiovascular disease, diabetes type 2, and so on and so on. So, putting them on those medications can correct the issue with them. And then I've seen some people, when they correct the issues going on and they get on the better food plan, they get off the medication. They don't need it no more as a type 2 diabetic. I've seen it happen as long as they're not crazy. Usually 6.0 is like when a doctor's like, all right, you're type 2 diabetic, we need to put you on medication. Anything underneath, you usually don't. But I've seen people come back at 6.3 per se, and then after being on it for like 6 months and changing everything around, them getting off the medication and then retesting and coming back and going below that 6.0. So that's the amazing thing. If we can get people off medication, that's the key. That's the key.
That's a huge thing. We got some questions for you, Big Johnny, from the world out here.
Because I know you just said it's okay for the kidneys. This person's saying, does BPC 157 help with muscle inflammation, and does it have any ill effects on the kidneys? I'm stage 2 kidney disease from diabetes. Would 2 units of GH daily cause harm to kidneys? Down to 340 from 458.
Wow, good job. First of all, going to wait, man.
Yeah. All
right, Johnny, you got an answer for that one.
Sure, absolutely. So BPC 157 is going to be great for inflammation inside the body and the muscles. There's not going to be any kidney problems or issues. It's called BPC, which is body protection compound. That's what those 3 letters stand for. And it's supposed to actually help defend the organs. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I know it will not damage kidneys. I've been on it. My dad's on it. Nephrologists know about him being on it. And we've got many type 2 diabetics that are on it. It's not a problem. Kidney problems, depending on what stage you're at, you really want to be careful though, because even with kidney disease, you can only take so much water, you can only eat so much protein. If you go over those amounts, then that can cause problems with the kidneys too as well. So that's gonna be fine. As far as the GH should not damage kidneys usually. You're not putting a lot of harm, and the injection is not going through them as far as that goes. And if it's prescribed, I don't see any negative effect to it. But you just got to make sure that it's prescribed and you know what you're doing. But as far as the weight coming down, that's awesome. That's almost 108 pounds, 118 pounds. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You feel so much better.
So this one BPC 157, right? This is used you can use it for inflammation, but it's used for certain injuries too. You could use it if you had an injury, correct?
Yeah, so healing any injuries, muscles, tendons, ligaments.
Okay.
The other thing is like if you have open wounds per se, stuff like that, it will help the body heal those areas faster. The thing with BPC 157 is you want to inject it subcutaneously, so underneath the skin at a 45-degree angle, or excuse me, 90 degree, 45-degree angle, excuse me, and you want to do it closest to the area where the injury's at, not right in the area. So you have a tendon, or don't try to hit the tendon.
You guys hear that? They're gonna go. I'm going right
and
into
with
that
this
thing.
BPC 157, is there an additional? Because I heard that if you do the TB 500, it helps. Like I don't know how these two work together.
Sure,
so can you tell me how the two work together?
Yeah.
TB 500 with the, is it necessary?
It's not necessary, but it does help. Obviously, it will hopefully expedite the healing process of where it's at. You're talking about like soft tissues and all that stuff that goes along with it. They work kind of the same function. The good thing about TB500 is it does work synergistically with BPC 157, and it's systemically throughout the body. So you don't have to inject that nearest to the site. But I put it both in the same syringe, inject it in the same site.
Oh, you do? Okay.
That's what I do. So I use it daily right now. It helps me out tremendously. And it's helping me heal right now from the hernia thing. I'm like 3 weeks tomorrow. And then my shoulders, those are always okay. But I mean, every morning I take it, I feel a lot better, and I can live through it usually and have no problems. But yeah, so those two work together. But the main function of those things, they take away inflammation and they create new blood vessels to bring blood to the areas to heal those areas. That's a lot of problem. A lot of the time people have the blood flow.
What if you're not injured?
If you're not injured, is this something
Is there
that,
any point?
like, I mean, I think most people, mostly men, when they're young, they think, I want to get stronger, I want to get bigger. So testosterone is going to help there. So they do something. They're not hurt, and they jump to that, which again is if that's something that you want to do, that's fine. But would this be the same kind of thing about strengthening up your connective tissue, and you could jump to this at a younger age than me, us old guys?
Yeah. So preventative wise, it's definitely going to be able to help. So if you're worried about your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, and you want to make sure that they stay stronger and you're being more preventative for injuries, then I would definitely take it. I know a lot of people that do take it just for that purpose. And then inflammation. So everybody gets inflammation in their body. I don't care who you are. Inflammation at high levels can cause damage to your body too as well. So you want to get the inflammation out. So this can help with that too as well. So there's a whole bunch of different benefits you can take it for. Whether you're injured or not injured, it will definitely benefit you and your quality of life, and definitely your lifting 100%. Even TB500, these things help with recovery too. We always talk about recovery. We're in there breaking down the muscle, right? But the big thing is afterwards in the recovery function. And this will definitely aid in recovery too.
Something I did when I was doing my blood work, this is great. I got to do my blood work with Titan Medical months back.
Right.
And when I did that, you guys were so kind. You did some additional tests with me.
Yes.
And it was, and that's why I want to pull this question up here, because of the fact that I think some of the tests that we did was, what foods am I allergic to? What branch, not aminos, yes, aminos. What am I missing in the body? And this gentleman here, go for that, Jeffrey.
I found out that I was deficient in magnesium and zinc, so I had a lot of food intolerances that I couldn't eat. Once I started taking these vitamins, my muscles, bones, and immune health got a lot better. Plus, my high blood pressure went down.
Now, that makes me think, first off, you guys can do these kind of tests over and above the basic TRT test to even help even to a further step if somebody's interested.
Sure. So the food sensitivity allergy testing, so that's something that we can run. We can run one test, we can run 100 tests. You can pick the panels you want, basically. So this is good for somebody that might be eating a diet and think they might be getting bloating or have some sensitivity after they eat it. They're like, man, I don't feel good, or I feel like I'm bloating, or I feel like I'm holding water per se. And you can pick whatever it is. So even if you're going with a nutritionist or a dietitian or a coach or whatever it is, and they're putting this diet together for you, you can look at the foods that are involved and maybe have some of these foods that you have. And you can run the test just foods. to make sure, hey, listen, I'm good with these foods. So, for me, I didn't have any, and I think you didn't have any either. But like Charisse, man, I mean, she had the main ones and bread and everything else. I mean, it's so at that point, like grain and all that, like she has a higher sensitivity to that. So can she take this in without doing it? She tries to stay away from it as much as possible because she definitely feels it. She says after I eat pastas, breads, or anything like that, then I definitely feel it. So it's just
I think that's great. I think it's great because I see all these books and every other month or something. It's like, hey, do your blood diet. Do whatever your blood is goes to a nutrition.
yeah.
Yeah, and then it's here. This is what everybody's allergic to. This kind of food or that kind of food. Don't eat these things. This is a great way to just check it and make sure you are or are not in this situation.
Absolutely.
Along with the ones that I liked is that we did the amino acids as well on where I was at. And even though I was taking some of these amino acids, I was still deficient, which blew my mind.
There weren't many, but there were a couple. And definitely when I see more people and the regular Joes that come in and do their blood testing and do this test, there's a lot more deficiencies. So what the amino acid test does is it tests all the amino acids that are in your body, non-essential and essential. So we're going through everything. We can see everything and where it's at. And we can say, hey, listen, you're low in this, you're high in this. You need to fix some different things. Take some supplementation. You can do some injectables, whatever you want. But this will definitely benefit you. I mean, amino acids are the building blocks of protein in the body. I mean, they are the sequences result in a whole bunch of different things that go on through the body. I mean, when we talk about growth hormone, it's 191 amino acid sequence. There's just sequences of amino acids, BPC 157, TB500. They're amino acid sequences. That's all they are. So, I think that they're key to do. Obviously, vitamins are key, and obviously branch chain, but all amino acids. We usually focus just on branch chain, right? Because all of some of the companies that put branch chain amino acids out, branch chain amino acids have great benefits to them for sure, 100%. But so do the other amino acids, and the ones that you can't create in your body, you got to get from nutrition. I hear from people all the time, like they'll yell back in my life, like, "You can get this all through nutrition. You can get,
yeah,
of course you can't." Listen, I would never, ever say you can't get this all through nutrition. But here's a caveat. You have all day to sit down and eat? Because I'll tell you what, the food sources aren't the same. You're not getting the same amount of these different vitamins, amino acids, and antioxidants you think you're getting from your food sources unless they're truly organic. Maybe you're growing at your house in the soil from Italy. I have no idea, but at that point, it's true, right? So, I mean, you'd have to sit there all day, have everything planned out, not have a job, not work, and literally that is all you're there to do is eat, and then you're going to go train, and then you're going to sleep. And that's
it's impossible to do for people that have, a 9-to-5 job and picking up kids from school.
You're 9-to-5, you're like us, where it's like entrepreneurs are on business, we're on the go all the time.
Right.
I mean, we eat pretty good. I won't lie, but am I getting everything that I possibly need? I'm not going to sit here and say I do. So that's why I get my injectables. I have my different things, and then I'm good. And then I can blood test and say, listen, I'm on the mark. Let me be consistent with this.
I got to take this a little bit different for just a second here because I'm on here on this amazing thing called Lives podcasting with somebody that knows his stuff. And it's a great thing in today's world that we have these social medias and experts like you being able to do this. But I did mention earlier how it's an amazing thing today. And this is something that was not around in the 80s and 90s. The 80s and 90s was everybody talks to the gym guy, the guy that's most jacked. And the reason I say that is because I see something like this. Go for it.
Any recommendations for first time using Clen and T3?
So my point here is this. I'm so confused about the common sense of we have these available tools to us. Let's have that discussion. Anybody that's out there, have your discussion with somebody like you. First, find out what's going on. Find out what is necessary. Instead of after the fact of starting something like this, and the T3 thing is one of those big ones that wrecked so many people in the 80s and 90s.
It
And
still is.
today. And I'm
It's
like,
so-
and it was off that one thing. This
Yeah.
did that. This triggered this. It's like, why wouldn't this individual, before doing anything, go talk to an expert like you? And so it seems like they don't take it serious. Like, no, it's everybody takes this stuff. So there's nothing bad going to happen, which is confusing to me. It's just confusing to me because we see, and it seems like every other couple weeks on Generation Iron, there's another post of somebody that passed away at way too young. And so again, do you see a lot of this, or is it a confusing? I'm just lost on why people are doing this. And I'd love to know, you people out there, why it is that you listen to these guys that at the gym or the girls at the gym and they just jump on it. And then,
You know, even one more going forward than that, like I'm in all the forums on Facebook, like all the bodybuilding ones, and
Yeah.
and all that. I've been there
remember
for-
getbig.com, wasn't it? Get Big or something like
Yeah.
that, where everybody would go to.
Yeah. So when I'm in there, it's funny because somebody writes a question like this, and then you get 100 responses. And you got some people, they're being sarcastic. You got some people who think they know what they're talking about. And then you just have this like, what the hell is even written here? Why would he even say this to this guy? Right. But it's just crazy. You know, a lot of people think that they can just follow that advice and they're going to get the good advice and they're going to go along with it. And they're going to get the results they're looking for. Right. I mean, when somebody asks me about clenbuterol or T3, I'm like, listen, what are you trying to achieve? I'm usually like, oh, I'm trying to shred up. I'm trying to get lean.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, there's way better tools that are a lot more healthier for what you're trying to do than what you're going to do with clenbuterol. I mean, just alone T3, you're talking about ruining thyroids. This is lifetime.
The Clem doesn't really bug me. It's like, all right, but the T3, you're now messing with something that if you mess up, man, there's an avalanche of destruction to your body
Forever.
Yeah. And so T3, can you explain what T3 is?
So Thyroxine 3. So this is there's different things as far as the thyroid goes. There's T3 and T4 and TSH, which is a thyroid stimulating hormone itself. These things are just lab tested. So we see T3. This is inside the thyroid as far as adjusting what could happen. You could be gaining more weight, losing more weight, depending on what things are going on, lose your hair, skin. I mean, everything can be affected. Thyroid is a major, major hormone in the body as far as that goes. So people, they're like, dude, you get thyroid problems, you're going to have issues. Like I said, probably for the rest of your life. And I've seen people damage their thyroid, and man, bringing it back without medication, I haven't seen too many people do it. I mean, usually we do Armour Thyroid, which balances T3 and T4. You do have some people that, that might prescribe T3. There's different people out there as far as specialists and endocrinologists and stuff like that that might be doing some different protocols. But yeah, man. So you start messing with that, you might get skinny for a little bit.
Yeah, but it's just I worry about these guys but I can't do nothing if somebody's going to jump on again something like T3 and go, hey, I know it messes. It's like the only person who should be touching T3 is somebody that does have an issue with their thyroid relative to just the gym goer. Hey, I'm jumping on Clem and T3. Okay.
I see that all. I mean, some of the people, what they call it, and they say, I'm like, listen, we don't judge, but we don't condone either. So if you say if you put yourself in liability, let's say you do the blood test, you have low testosterone, you're going to do the medical provider visit. You get on with the medical provider and say, hey, listen, I'm doing 800 milligrams of testosterone. I'm starting next week. Can you supplement me the rest, like 200 milligrams, and do like 1,000 a week? Like, absolutely not. Like, don't think that you're going to do that. But there are people that do that, and it's funny. I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, you're getting recorded right now, right? And it's like, don't say. Be honest, I guess, to a certain degree. But if you're doing a whole bunch of extracurricular things, then we're not going to condone, because it puts you at liability. Like, we don't know what's going on. The whole point for us is to put you on a regimen. We know what that regimen is. We know what it's supposed to do. And if there's problems, we can tweak it. But if you start introducing things on your own or changing dosages and we don't know, then we're blindsided. Like, hey, what's going on here?
Hey, I got to say something real quick as we finish this up. I just want to say this is kind of cool. This is a response to what we were talking about. And they are going to take us up on the advice that you gave today. And so we saved one. I think this is great.
That's awesome.
Holy cow! I
Well,
think
that is-
that's the
that
coolest
is the
thing.
goal.
That is the goal.
Yeah,
If we could save
one at a time. To
and I don't
really-
mean save by not doing something.
Yeah.
It's just save by not doing something silly. And there's
Yes.
other
Mhm.
options for you to do it and do it under a guidance of somebody that knows, again, that we have here in the podcast for you today to talk to.
And I'll even tell you what, that guy Ballot Ban, if you're still listening, if you look up Titan Medical Center and you're 21, you make all the check boxes there, I'll even give you a discount like $50 or whatever therapy you get. So at that point, you say, John said it. I'll make sure that I approve it. Just say you were on this live with me and Mike and Mona, and I'll make sure you get like
Got that, guys? Can you just
There you go.
repeat that for
If
the
you do
Instagram
watch
people?
today's podcast and you guys want to go over there, go on over to Titan Medical. Tell them these Titans right here sent you over to Titan right there
And you
to
get a discount.
at least understand what is going on again in your body. If we can, for anybody that's out there, and this is women, which I'm glad Mona was here today to
Yeah.
go into this.
I got to bring my girls to stay healthy too. We actually need to be more healthy than you guys so we can take care of you.
That's
We
an
got
old
the
school woman
family
right there.
going. We got to cook and clean and work out and do everything. So
that's a good woman right there, Mike. That's a good woman. I love it.
we need
Wow.
energy to take care of the rest. So we need to stay healthy. I think that we should be the first ones to come to you guys and say, hey, keep me healthy, keep me going. I need energy. I need everything that you could give us.
Yeah.
Longevity, just add to my life as long as possible.
I'll tell you what, usually, when we first started Titan, it was originally I had in my mind it was going to be an all-male clinic. Easier to deal with. I know guys, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But what happened was we started fixing all these guys. And once you fix them, then they're ready to go. They might be ready to go to the bedroom. They have more energy. They're like, hey, let's go do this.
Yeah.
And then the wife or girlfriend's like, man, I don't feel like this. I want to feel like that. You guys say girls too? And we're like, yeah, we do girls too, I guess. That's our women. We're like, all right, cool. Because once one gets going, the other one's got to catch up. Or
Yeah.
yeah, like I want to feel that good. I want to be ready to go. So yeah, it's funny how that works out. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Johnny,
guys.
thank you for hanging out today. Always appreciate a Titan Tuesday with you, you big beast. Again, this will be on today, Friday. The show. Get on over to Titan Medical. Let them know the Titan sent you, and talk to Big John there. All right.
So
Thanks, my man.
Thank you,
Thanks,
John.
guys. Appreciate you guys.
Next
Bye.
week.
Bye, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Guys, hey, thanks for hanging out today on the Mike O'Hearn Show on Generation Iron. I want to say thank you to Mona for sitting in here today. Again, for you guys, just be smart. Be smart out there. I know it's health and fitness. We want to be the best we possibly can, but we want to be this for a lifetime, right?
That's right. And
that-
for you ladies, be selfish for a minute.
Yeah, be selfish. Get in there.
Be selfish. Let's go. Let's get in there. Let's stay healthy so we could take care of everybody around us because we have to do it no matter what.
That's it, guys. We'll see you next Friday on the Mike O'Hearn Show right here on Generation Iron.